What a matchup!
And what a team, Mike. Metro PCS and the iPhone SE for $0 on a network that covers 99% of people in the U.S. Oh, impressive.
Play with the best. Switch to Metro PCS on an unlimited LTE plan and get a 32-gig iPhone SE for $0. Metro PCS. Coverage not available in some areas, plus sales tax. Claim based on talk and text. Not valid for active numbers currently on the T-Mobile network or active on Metro PCS in the past 90 days. See store for details and terms and conditions.
Blog Talk Radio.
One time, nigga, one time.
Where?
No matter what I do, they got a nigga still running from the police.
With the motherfucking Nikes on tight, get ghost.
I ain't got nothing on my mind but getting in some trouble, licking shots till they drop, leaving bloody blood puddles, crossing right into life. Now we in a gunfight, I could shoot the gauge, pebbles at the devils to die tonight. It's on me. But if I die, bury me a motherfucking G, or open casket on them bastards so they all remember me. With my vest on my chest, my jewels and my peace thug like motherfucker.
They got me running from the off, nigga. You know that's true. Catch a nigga like K-Dog, chillin' with the crew. Every damn day, parlay with my glass of Ray. The OJ, and it's all okay. Till that fucking fake, I got to play the man. Ran me down the block with my glass in my hand. Damn, I hope it don't spill. Nigga chill, shit is real. Cock back my steel. Still running from the fuels. I get no sleep. I got them peeping in my window while I'm smoking endo. But I ain't no motherfucking track star. If you got a G like Big Mouth running through motherfucking backyard. So I grabs my piece before I flee. And instead of me running, these bitches just want it from me. Lick shot, shit spot, so for my piece. Cause a nigga like Big Mouth and Fruit running from the
What about that time they falling from the punk police? They thought I caught me, but them can't store. What about they fall foot for me, mom? Pull up the bars and you go and let's fall. Look around, punk police. What about that bottle you can, but the can't me? Look around, punk police. They have the black box, so they black box.
I was scheming and fiending for loops and took the crooked route to ghetto fame. I felt the pain and now I run the game. The insane brain, so getting fly like a plane on them suckers with my nigga Biggie Smalls, cause they're rockin'. Check it. I grew up for fucking screw up. Got introduced to the game, got an ounce and fucking blew up. Chopping rocks overnight. The nigga Biggie Smalls trying to turn into the black Frank White. And we got the workers bumping rock, binge by the flock, and we're getting it. The dirty father jealous, so they sweating it. I'm letting it smoke, hope they don't play me for no joke and provoke a homicide. So just let the drama slide, we're keeping it real. Fuck how you feel, Biggie pass the steel. Let's serve these motherfucker slugs as a fucking meal. We had to go dreads to change our description. 2 options on the milk box missing. Shows they toes, you know they got steps on. A fist full of bullets, a chest full of Teflon. Run from the hero, picture that. Nigga, I'm too fat. I fuck around and catch an asthma attack. That's why I bust back. It don't faze me. When he drop, take his block and I'm swayzy. Yeah. Celebrate my escape, solar clock, fuck some weight. Lay back, I got some money to make. Motherfucker.
They turn it down right from the punk police. They try to hide me, but them can't store. What about they from the hood and me more? Pull up the pot and let's pull and let's walk. Look around, punk police. What about that pot you can but you can't catch me? Look around, punk police. They have to black box so they black.
They got me running from the 4 miles, ducking and dodging in my survival. Both depends on when I let off with my I'm moving swifter than the next nigga. No time for sex, cause in my mind all I wonder is who's next. Nigga, my homie slipped and now we paid the price. He did a drive-by, 16, now he's doing triple life. Tell me, is it me or my upbringing? I spit that tough shit, nigga, motherfucker singing. I hope you got your Timberlands on tight, cause I ain't giving up. I'd rather duck these motherfuckers all night. I'm running through the project. B.I.T. They'll never catch me cause I'm low and trigger happy on the C.I.T. Don't say you never heard of me till they murder me. I'm a legend. You thug niggas go to heaven. I'm rolling with the thoroughhead. We getting ghosts on them hoes. And yo, I got no love for the 4 mile. I'm running from the police.
What about that time myself? And for the police. Let's have a hard day, but them can't store. What about that from the hood and me more? Pull up the bars and you and let's walk. Look around.
buckle my shoe. Damaging Sean is something you can't do. You think you can, I know you think you can, but you can't. Cause on the mic, I'ma murder your crew just like a super ant. Fucking with Sean, you know you're dead wrong. We can get it on first. God bless Master Dawn. You want the battle, buddy, bring it. Cause even if a bell ran up to your name, you still couldn't ring it. Niggas be flexing without biceps, triceps, but on the microphone I still sparkle like Schweppes. Pushing up, or get your flat on your back, cause you whack. And in fact, I'll have you all running from a Mac. Skills rule and I school fools with metaphors. And I be hitting, cause my shit's better than yours. You never knew that I could freestyle. Meanwhile, every time I freestyle, I make your cheese smile. I break it down like block, and competition runs, so I'll be the MC, cause I rock the box. And you can't play, cause I took the cake and I blew out the candles. Wrecking shit like a vandal, you know my handle, it's the big L dot. My tongue's on cock, I bust rhymes like a Glock. I get off when I get on, and I start with a left and I end with a right, because I'm never wrong. Check it out. Dig it. Back in the days, I used to listen to the R, watching niggas fuck the law, buying over at the bar, and all I ever wanted to be was a deaf MC. You know my speed, cause ain't nobody fucking with me. So why you looking at me? I got the 4 or 5 lighting, cause you're biting what I'm writing. Sean shit is exciting. On the mic, I'm like a titan, fighting rap that be frontin'. Now you're hunting for the fame, well, you ain't saying nothing. It's the master professional PIMP. And if you're looking for the back, girl, you just found me. I break your ass off properly just for fun, cause my daddy was a pimp. 71. Check it out, Sean. Check it out, Sean. Check it out, Sean. Check it out, check it out, Sean. Check it out, Sean. Check it out, Sean. Keep on. I keep the real like the Richter scales. The California got the eagle and I'm on you when I pull it. You're a gone. I got your corner with the extra clip. The shit don't stop, cause I'm iller than Tupac shooting at cops. So one time for your mind, cause the rhyme is the winner. You're a beginner. I'm eating competition like dinner with flounder. Popo fam, trade pounder. Smoking, you fuck around, you get your back broken. I'm a nice nigga on the microphone. I'm like a liquor, no chaser. Rubbing you out like an eraser. Save it, you bit my shit. It was your favorite, you craved it. My little Shawnee, nothing to be played with. Check it out, Sean. Check it out, Sean. Check it out, Sean. Check it out. Check it out, Sean. Check it out, Sean. Check it out, Sean. Keep on. Check it out, Sean. Check it out, Sean.
Iman, Young Cable. Alongside, it's Jeffrey.
She's so sexy, right on the floor. The way she move her body looking so yeah. Make man go down, lose concentration. Make you hard, man, dirty dada. Kind of girl, I show to mama. Pretty girl, come city, yeah, I tryna know ya. Can I ever be your man? We travel around the world. Heading to my carry, baby, let me take you there. Wine go down, bad man, wanna feel ya. Feeling so strong and sexy, yeah. Eyes of a princess, I can't just believe that my only desire. Wine go down, bad man, wanna feel ya. Feeling so strong and sexy, yeah. The eyes of a princess, I can't just believe that my only desire.
When she loves you, she will never show you. Even when she's creeping, she will never. She'd rather stay alone, all by herself. All cause she has this pride of a woman. When she loves, she will never show. Smart me
Drop that 9-5, let me see you touch down. Love the way you twist on one, it goes to look design. Sing no Rita with my guitar. Right up on the floor, baby, I will take you there. Wine go down, Batman, wanna feel ya. Feeling so strong and sexy, yeah. Eyes of a princess, I can't just believe that my only desire. Wine go down, Batman, wanna feel ya. Feeling so strong and sexy, yeah. The eyes of a princess, I can't just believe that my only desire.
When she loves you, she will never show it. Even when she's creeping, she will never. She'd rather stay alone, all by herself. All 'cause she has the pride of a woman. When she loves, she will never get home. Madly in love, and she will never get home. Between the knife and all is cold. Yeah, she don't wanna let it. When she loves you, she will never show it. Even when she's creeping, she will never. She'd rather stay alone, all by herself. All 'cause she has the pride of a woman. When she loves, she will never get home. Madly in love, and she will never get home. Between the knife and all is cold.
Right up on the floor, baby, I will take you there. You bring your body wine, get your spine, give me vine. I can do anything, let me be your man. Mr. DJ, press on the replay. Me, I wanna dance with the body so divine. Wine go down, Batman, wanna feel ya. Feeling so strong and sexy, yeah. The eyes of a princess, I can't just believe that my only desire.
When she loves you, she will never show it. Even when she's creeping, she will never. She'd rather stay alone, all by herself. All 'cause she has the pride of a woman. When she loves, she will never get home. Madly in love, and she will never get home. Between the knife and all is cold. Yeah, she don't wanna let it. When she loves you, she will never show it. Even when she's creeping, she will never. She'd rather stay alone, all by herself.
Wine go down, Batman, wanna feel ya. Feeling so strong and sexy, yeah. Wine go down, Batman, wanna feel ya. Feeling so strong and sexy, yeah. Wine go down, Batman, wanna feel ya. Feeling so strong and sexy, yeah.
Yeah, what it do, y'all? This your boy King Eric the Ruler, also alongside my co-host Miss Chinchilla. We at Off the Cuff Radio.
What it do? How y'all doing tonight?
Yes, indeed. We had a special Wednesday night edition because we have a special guest joining us. The legendary Easy Moe Bee is in the building. We put him on right here. Yeah, bro.
Yeah, what's going on?
We got to get that man a round of applause, man. Yeah,
What's up,
buddy.
y'all? Easy Moe Bee in the building, Off the Cuff Radio.
I got my man Jonathan Bay. He in the building. Big shout out to him. You there, bro?
Yeah, Sanjay definitely in the building, bro.
Yeah, man. Wednesday night madness right here.
How y'all doing tonight? Y'all all right?
Yeah, we doing good. How's everything with y'all?
All right.
We good. That's good. We definitely appreciate y'all coming on and topping it up with us tonight. Definitely.
Hey, no problem.
Yeah, because we knew y'all had a lot on y'all plate, so for y'all to work through the schedule and making this happen for us is an honor.
No, definitely.
That's what's up. What's up? We here now.
That's what it do.
Yeah, good looking on dropping that Young Kizzy joint too.
Yeah, so tell us about it. So for to start this off, tell us about Young Kizzy. Like, when's he coming out?
Young Kizzy actually was dropped yesterday. His single "Pride of a Woman" is out. It should be on iTunes and Spotify and everything. It take a little minute to get up there, but he's out there now.
That's what it do, because you had to hit everybody with that whole reggaeton type flavor. Sometimes you got to come out the box with that.
Yeah, no question, man.
I'm loving it.
I can't wait to get him in with Easy Moe Bee, man. And Mo got a whole lot of things going on right now, so talk to him, Mo.
Yeah, I was waiting for the interview. I was waiting for the questions and everything. You know, I'm here.
Oh, he's here.
Well, that's a question. That's a question. What you got coming up? Let us know something.
Well, like he just said, with you got Young Kizzy, and we're developing a bunch of different artists. Get ready to come through EMB Entertainment. That's My Tunes Digital. You can check that out. Most recently, I did music for Sadat X for his new album. Working with a cat from named Big D, that from Ultramagnetics MCs fame. Okay, you know, you got the Great Minds album out there where Positive K and Greg Nice of Nice and Smooth, they did a super group. You have the Great Minds album out there, Easy Moe Bee production on there. A lot of things in the work, you know.
Dang, congratulations on the things in the work. And congratulations, I heard you a 2-time Grammy winner, is that correct?
That's correct.
Congratulations on it. Oh, I'm loving it. I was reading up about you. I know a lot about you before, but when I started digging in and reading everything, I was like, dang, it was more that I didn't know that I thought I knew. So, congratulations to that for sure. That's definitely a good look. I had a question pop up in my head though. I heard you. I saw you work with Miles Davis on the last album that he did in the studio before he passed. May he rest in peace. How was it like what was it like to get that call? Because from what I see, I guess Russell Simmons, when he asked him who he should get to do the jazz and hip hop album, he pointed him in your direction. So what kind of feeling was it to get that call?
Well, to state that correctly, at that time, Miles and Russell was hanging out, and he had told Russell, he said, I want to get into hip hop. So what Russell Simmons did is he sampled the whole roster of producers that was over there at Rush at the time, and out of all of them, somehow he picked me. It started off with like a couple of songs. And from there on, he just rocked out with me. The title of that album was called Doo-Bop. It won for Best R&B Instrumental Grammy in 1992. The second one you're talking about was actually nominated, actually won in 4 different categories. You're talking about Alicia Keys' Diary of... The Diary of Alicia Keys, yeah. Craig Mack, Flavor in Your Ear, it was nominated from what I understand, from what I remember, but it didn't actually win, you know.
A nomination that's something right there in and of itself. A nomination is a lot to me. I've never been nominated for a Grammy, a Hood Award, or nothing, so that's big up to you regardless.
Right.
And we also read, too, that you had a project, like an instrumental project out called Don't Stop.
And You Don't Stop.
Yeah,
And You Don't Stop. That was released in 2015 on Slam Jams Records. Shout to Chuck D. That's his label. And speaking of that, Public Enemy is preparing a new album right now. They pulled me in on that to submit some music for that, too. So pretty soon we can look forward to that right there also.
That's what's up.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You sound like you're a very busy man. I see you, though.
Well, I try to keep busy, you know. Of course, people know me for the production, but also on my spare time, I got a lot of DJ gigs that keep up, that's a part of what I do. You know, I got a theme for rocking the vinyl here in New York. A lot of people know me. I'll drag like 2, 3, 4 crates to a club to play classics on vinyl like nothing. You know, I got a gig I'm doing tomorrow night. Of course, I'll be carrying crates and everything. It's just, I just think it's important for a lot of the younger generations and the newcomers to still be able to see how it was originally done, you know?
Yes, definitely. I would love to see that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you got a large part of the younger generation. If you hold a record up in front of them, they will actually ask you like, "Yo, what's that?" Because we're at the point right now in the digital age where okay, a CD is something that might be familiar. They might have seen that before, but basically everything right now is MP3, is digital. Files is being moved around in that way right there. That's fine too. I'm with all of that too. I have Serato too. I just don't use it like I could. But the main thing is that this music, this whole movement, this hip hop, just the music period, that is continuing to go. And it's not really what you got, it's how you use it. That's what it comes down to.
That's so real.
So with the digital, like the new form of digital wave, it's like it's taking a huge effect on how a lot of people are crafting their beats and stuff like that, like with sampling laws, and you have a whole bunch of things that is kind of crippling the creativity. Has any of those type of things like played effect of your craft?
Well, I will say this much here: when you used to submit music by tape, say like you submit music to a record label on a cassette, or say like on a DAT tape, primarily really on a cassette tape. If you submitted that music on that cassette, then you knew that it wasn't in a form where they were able to like take it as a final and rock with it. I mean, there have been cases where they just print something back in the day, print from cassette, straight from the cassette and master it. But in today's environment, in today's age, nobody would even look at it like that's good enough. We so far advanced in digital technology and sound quality that it's almost like it's not acceptable. So what I'm getting at is when we used to submit these tracks on cassette, if they wanted to move further into the studio and say like, yeah, Mo, I want that one, I want to rock with that, then it was a need to actually call you into the studio, then you come and you track it all out. Now it's good enough for them to go ahead and record it and rock out with it. In today's digital quality, the cats got home studios, they got state-of-the-art digital equipment. Whatever is their final product right there, a lot of times that's ready to go. So that right there has just made it, as far as sound quality is concerned, much easier for bootlegging, much easier for people to just take it right there from that stage and steal it. It's digital. It's ready to go.
But from back in the day, I mean, I know I read a little bit about you too, and how you have like you don't appreciate the practice of people just going out doing the remixes and stuff. But I mean, even still to this day, people are bold enough to just take your music with you right there and recreate it, and not even take the sample. But I mean, I guess it's like you saying, it's just making it a lot easier these days for cats to be grimy just like they've been in the past. They just got an easier outlet to do
it. Yeah. Well, like I said, one of the main important things is that the concept of the music, the whole beat making, all parts of the process of it is continuing on. We're still getting it in. We're still getting it out. It don't really matter what you got. It's how you use it. Like, I still rock SP1200 and a Kai S950. The beatmaker cats out there, they know what I'm talking about. Them Akai rack mount samplers, I still rock with them. SP1200, I still rock with that. And I get it done. I still get some amazing things done coming out of that machine. Stuff that people can't even believe. They have to actually ask me, like, yo, what you using now? Like, yo, I'm still using the same thing. The And You Don't Stop album that just came out, the stuff for the Great Minds album with Positive K and Greg Nice, still using the same stuff. And the quality is good,
But that's about the experience of being able to work with the machine, though, right? Like, if somebody doesn't know how to work with it and have experience like you have experience, they're not going to be able to pull it out like you pull it out. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, two cats, they got the same machine, of course, you know. Each one of us is going to pull something different out of it.
Yeah.
Of course.
I think. See, I just don't know. I don't know too much about making beats other than if I push a button, then it come out with a melody. So it sounds very, very interesting to me when you speak about it because, like, you just spoke about something. I know about Pro Tools, but like I said, I'm not a producer. So what you just said was so interesting. I just had to ask the dumb questions just to make sure that it wasn't something so easy. You know, you got the electric shit now. You can just push a button and it make a beat for you. And I didn't know if that's something like it where people can pull out the same thing or if you have to be, you know, real intricate with it and to be able to pull out something that has just that much experience. But I guess, you know, that's a dumb question, but I had to ask it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm basically flowing along with the times. I mean, you know, when I first came into this game, I think maybe I need to take the lead on the interview here because I'm not really getting the questions that I thought I was going to get from you. So I'll say that when I first of all, I started out as a DJ, 12 years old, man. And years before that, or at 8 years old, I first started collecting records. So I watched this whole hip-hop thing start happening out in the parks with the DJs and the turntables, the big speakers out in the park and everything. That's where the original love comes from with the hip-hop. But in my house, what was going on is my father, he was playing a lot of soul, a lot of funk, a lot of Motown, Stax, you name it. So that's where my original love for the music comes from. So after watching hip-hop start to be born and happen out there in the park, that's where I got the bug from being a DJ to actually wanting to make records. I had done listened to records long enough till now I wanted to make them, you know. So that's when I went out and I got my first equipment, my first samplers and sampling equipment, making the beats. I joined a group. There's two cats was on my block. I'm from Brooklyn, from Lafayette Gardens, from LG. Shout to AB Money and JR. Rapping is fundamental. The two of them had already got together. They was like, yo, we need a third member. We need a third cat, somebody that will rap and sing. So the name of the group was Rapping is Fundamental, and the three of us, we rapped and we sang, and we called it doo-hop. On the Miles Davis project, the doo-bop song, you can hear us rapping and singing on there. You can hear us singing background and AB doing leads and riffs on Tupac's Temptation. But from that point on, after being with Rapping is Fundamental, that's when I got signed to RPM, Rush Producers Management, over there at Rush. And that's when all of the real work started coming in. Right before that, the only thing I had on my back was Big Daddy Kane, his second album. It's a Big Daddy thing. Did Another Victory, calling Mr. Welfare. After that, pre-Wu-Tang, you got the Genius album, Words from the Genius. I had a relationship with them like way before Wu-Tang was even actually named and formed. They were telling me about everything they was going to do, and I watched that whole thing be born and happen. Shortly after that, a couple of remixes, LL Cool J, Pink Cookies in the Plastic Bag, Getting Crushed by Buildings. Y'all remember that? Then came Biggie. Yeah, then came, got a call that there was a soundtrack, Who's the Man was the movie, and there was a soundtrack that they had a new artist they needed a track for that they wanted to put on there. I go up to the label. At that time, it was Uptown Records. There wasn't even such thing as a Bad Boy yet. I get up to Uptown Records, and they play me this new artist. Now, a couple of months back, DJ Mr. C had played me a demo of this same new artist. DJ Mr. C told me that this new artist, this guy's name was Biggie Smalls. So when I go up to Uptown to go hear the new artist that they got, it was that same guy. I was like, oh, yeah. DJ Mr. C, he played Me That Cat already. So I'm put together with him. The first joint that we record is Party and Bullshit. And the chemistry is good. Sean Puffy Combs kept us together after that. Ready to Die, the title track, the first song we recorded. And from there, from the chemistry being good, we just continued to just record. While I was there, Craig Mack, Flavor in Your Ear, the original and the remix, Get Down. There was actually 5 songs on Craig Mack's album, but the 2 singles that people know about that I produced was Get Down and Flavor in Your Ear. Then you got the Lost Boys, Jeets, Lex Coupe, Stevens and the Benz, Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. You have, how can I forget, Busta Rhymes, Everything Remains Raw. It's a Party featuring Jeanette. I've worked with Queen Latifah, Public Enemy, LL Cool J, Dougie Fresh. I mean, you hear a lot of the same names all of the time. When my name comes up, people were sure to say Biggie and Tupac, but there's so much stuff beneath the surface that never really gets the credit and the light of day and gets, noticed and mentioned like a lot of the other stuff. And here in 2017, Easy Moe Bee is still here, still producing, still DJing since 12 years old. I mean, like anything, it's a bug. It's a love, you fall in love with it, and it just never, ever leaves you. I just thank God that I was able to take it up as a profession, and that profession leading to a way that I was able to, survive and make money.
I think we have a caller before we have a. I didn't mean to cut y'all off, but I believe we have a 415 caller. Let me see who this is. 415, you on?
Moe Bee, what's up, man? How you doing?
All right, what's that? Who's this?
Man, boy Fleetwood, man, it's always an honor, man. I just wanted to, man, I was blown away when you started naming all that, man. Yeah, 'cause like you said, I thought it was just really the platform of Pac and Biggie. But I got one quick question for you. Everybody and mama got a studio right now. So I want to know what was your perspective on the Reasons, the Fruity Loops, and all that. And do you still use the SP, or do you use any of the new technology when you produce now?
Yeah, I don't know when you tuned in, but I had just finished saying that. Yeah, I still use that SP1200. I'm still using the Akai, the rack mount sample is like the S900, 950, 3000, that sort right there. The MPC is something that my brother LG, shout to LG, who produced, and I mean, not just people say brother, that's my blood brother from the same mother. Shout to my brother LG Experience. He produced Ill Al Scratch, Nas. Yeah, Nas. He worked with Big L. He's done things too. Faye Bro, he definitely deserved the shout.
Right.
He's always been pretty much an MPC cat. Me, I lean more towards that SP1200. I don't know, just something about that machine. I like that chunk.
Okay.
And when you ask that question right there, that's a good question because a lot of the producers today, they would rather like point and click, you know what I mean, and do it
right
through a program with like you said, Reasons, Logic, stuff like that. But me, I'm one of the few cats out here that's left. I still like to work and be hands-on. It don't matter if I picked up, if it was going to be machine or the MPC or still just rocking with that SP1200. It's something about still having your hands on that machine. You know what I mean? Because when you hands-on and you put your hands on that machine, it's just something different about it. It's like putting your body into it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Much more different than when you point and click. I don't know for me. I mean, other people, they get what they want out of it. I like to have my hands on the machine. That's important.
It don't be having that dirt on it neither. You know, the sound don't have that dirt on it, man. To me, it sounds too perfect. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I like about that old sound, man. It got that dirt on it, man. It's a little fuller to me, man. And I just want to say, man, salute to you, bro. Appreciate you, homie. I met you with Son Jay up there in Brooklyn about a year ago. I don't know if you remember, but man,
what up,
good,
I'm
man.
right here, bro.
What's up, Jay?
All right, everything good, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, so it's all good, Moe Bee, man. Salute to you again, man. And I think the best is yet to come, man. Keep doing anything I can do to support you. You know, I got this love.
Thanks, man. Salute in return. And and nothing against anybody doing it digital with programs. I don't know, it's just something about me. I like to have my hands on the machine. I gotta be able to put my body in it. You know what I mean? I gotta tap. I gotta stand there and nod my head and squinch up my face because it sound and feel good to me. I'm leaning. I'm bobbing. You know, I feel it when I do it that way. You know,
it's that soul feeling.
Bring out the personality in the music. It sounds like more personality instead of robot action.
Yeah. One of the things that I'm seeing, and I'm into it too. It's on the Instagram. You got a lot of cats that's posting their beats live, whether they did a video of it or whether they doing it Instagram live, and you see the cats. They sitting there, the ones that still rocking the MPC or whatever it is they're using, especially the ones that's hands-on. You can tell, man, they really, really into it. Don't get it twisted. People will think that just because you have young cats out here making music and they may not be strumming a guitar, sitting down, playing a piano, you know what I mean, or playing a horn. We're musicians, too. You know what I mean? It takes a lot to be able to assemble a whole spectrum of samples, have it all work together harmoniously. Everything is in tune. I mean, that's a skill. That's a gift. That's a gift from God, you know?
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you, too, as when you talk about the creative process, and I read, too, that, back in the day as a youngster when I caught Ready to Die, and I seen that you produced Give Me the Loot from Biggie, how did you ever was able to get that split personality thing to work for him?
So you do know that both parts, that's all Big. He did the two parts.
Yeah, because at first I was thinking it was somebody else the way y'all had it constructed.
Yeah, because when he did Warning video, I remember after the video came out, sometimes it wasn't even before the video came out. After the record after they first heard it, I had cats walking up to me telling me, "Yo, Mo, who the second cat?" I'm like, y'all don't understand. He created two different characters. Like, one was supposed to be he was supposed to be talking to this cat on the telephone. So what they did is they EQ'd that second voice to sound real small, like it was on the telephone. And then he carried out that same process on Give Me the Loot to the talking back and forth. And then the same process got carried out again, a third time on The What. But that's where he's really exchanging verses with a real person. In The What, him and Method Man, they throwing the verses off back and forth to each other like Run DMC, EPMD, Allah style, You don't get to hear that too much no more.
Oh, no.
And I could tell it was very competitive on that track.
He did it on Life After Death too, with on I Love the Dough with Jay-Z. We didn't speak about that yet. That's one of the tracks that I produced on Life After Death also too. The other one on the second album was Going Back to Cali. On the first album, Ready to Die, I did damn near like half the album. You had the title track Ready to Die, Warning, Give Me the Loot, Machine Gun Funk, The What, and Friend of Mine. That's 6 joints. That might as well be half somebody's album. But on the second album, I didn't play as big a part there. I just did I Love the Dough, and going back to Cali. And while I was listening, waiting to get online, I heard you playing Running. Well, the full title was Running from the Police.
Yes,
that
indeed.
song right there.
I was asking about that one.
Yeah, that song.
I heard. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that song right there. That was actually that come from a album. They had a Million Man March album called 1 Million Strong that they had put out, and it was a bunch of different various artists on there, and that's where the version that you just played, you can find that version for that album. But then years later, Eminem, he came along and he remixed the song and knocked it down to just Biggie and Pac, because on the song also there was Dramacidal from the Outlaws and Rest in Peace Stretch from the Live Squad. He was on there. So there was actually a song with 4 people on it: Biggie, Pac, Dramacidal from Outlaws, and Stretch. But when Eminem, when he remixed it, he knocked it down to just a Biggie Pac record. Yeah, let's talk about Tupac on Me Against the World. First of all, I did a whole bunch of songs with him, a batch of songs. And what he did is he took from that batch and he just dispersed all the different songs to different albums. On, you got, what is that? Temptations and If I Die Tonight. Those two, he threw that on Me Against the World. Then you got Straight Ballin'. He took that, he threw that on Thug Life. Then the running from the Police, he took that, he threw that on the 1 Million Man March album. And then, oh yeah, that's right. People don't talk about that one that much. My Block.
That's one of my favorite
took My
ones.
Block. When he did My Block, he took that and threw that on the show soundtrack. So you're talking about a dude who was really, really smart in terms of strategizing how he was going to release his music. I remember when he started to put them records out, it got to the point where he actually was sometimes competing with himself in the charts, because all them songs was coming from different albums and they appearing on the charts. You know, say like Temptations might have been like number 17 or something, and then you got another song, it'll be 48, and that was pretty smart. That was pretty smart right there, just the way that he was releasing the records, where to the point where you end up competing with yourself on the charts.
It was said that he was his own worst critic.
When you think about it, RZA from the Wu-Tang, that was also a mastermind procedure of his too. You know, he had Method Man was on Def Jam. You know, you got ODB, he on Elektra. You know, you got Jizza, he was on Guessing. You know, you got Ghost, he was on Epic. And what happens is it's strategy, you know. You understand what I'm saying? They end up, by the time they make it to the chart, now they all competing with each other. But it's all from the same unit. You understand? That's smart. Real smart.
Split the money 5 different ways too.
Oh yeah. Speaking of Wu-Tang, people may not know, but I was on that 8 Diagrams joint. If anybody knows about Take It Back on that album, a joint called Take It Back, was really trying to recapture the essence of the original feel of what we always knew and loved so much about Wu-Tang. If you never heard Take It Back, go back and you listen to that off the 8 Diagrams album.
I remember having that album a couple years back, and that's one of the few songs that actually recaptured the magic that they had, because at that time there was a lot of tension with the group and egos, and people wanted to pretty much do what they wanted to do. But that song there, I was like, okay, this is the Wu sound we wanted in love right here. Salute to you on that one.
I was trying my best to try to really, really make it feel like early Wu, because you know people loved them, man. Wu-Tang is an institution, man. They really are, man, as far as their place in hip hop, and I feel blessed. I feel blessed to be there, to have been there in the beginning, and be a part of that whole beginning structure of what they came up with. Like a lot of people may not know, but RZA, I produced his first single, the B-side to his first single. He had a joint called Oh We Love You, Rakim on Tommy Boy. He had a single deal, and on the B-sides, he had a joint called Sexcapades that I produced. So RZA, at one point, real early on, he was like, Easy Moe Bee is like almost like an unofficial member of Wu, because they know I was there in the beginning, you know. Shout to them brothers, man, for, you know, coming up from nothing and creating a sensation. You know what I mean? Creating something that the world to this day still loves and follows, man. It just goes to prove to you. That's why I love hip hop, you know. Because if you ask me, somebody asks me, what is the definition of hip hop? To me, hip hop is something from nothing. Who else can take some samples from a record, put it into a machine, rearrange it to your liking, to your new pattern? You know what I mean? You throw some cats on top to start rapping, harmonizing, whatever. And all of a sudden, you got new music. You got a new copyright. You got a new streamer income. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, man, hip hop is one of the greatest. Hip hop is one of the things that ever happened to me, as far as I'm concerned, musically, creatively. You know.
What was like the craziest? What was like? I didn't mean to cut you off for a minute, but I wanted to ask, what was the craziest studio session you was ever experienced?
Okay, I hope it's all right for me to talk about this, because it wasn't no secret back then. It wasn't no secret back then. You know, that's what he did. But I remember I used to do a lot of work out of Unique Studios in Times Square. So out of all of the people, like I told you, there's a lot of people on my discography that people always say the same names, and there's a lot of stuff that never ever get mentioned. But y'all remember Jamal and Malik from Illegal?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
we
Jamal,
trying to reach out to them actually.
Yeah, he had that solo album. It was called Fade Them All, right? Or at least I know that's what the first single was. But I was on that album, and I did 2 joints for his album. One of them I did with Redman. So when we in the studio, homeboy Jamal must have been 16, 17 years old. He was in the studio with that Bomb Z. It was just wild, man. I think he's one of the most amazing vocalists I ever worked with. You know, his the way he projected his voice, his vocals, the intensity of what he was saying, and how he was putting it across. You go back and you listen to some of that stuff. A lot of MCs, so-called MCs, I would rather call them rappers today, that they couldn't even hold weight with him. You know, they couldn't even understand that. You would have to go back and listen to 2 joints called Live Illegal, and the other one featuring Redman was called Insane Creation. Yeah, that was the name of it. Other than that, it's when Big, when he was making the album for Ready to Die, he said, "Hold up, Mo, I want to stop it. I want to do an interlude." All right, it's like, all right. So I was like, okay, cool. I'll go chill on the couch. Him, Little Kim, they go in the booth, and you know, you hear the sounds. It sound like there was, you know, it was sound effects, but I don't know how really what was really going on in that booth, because you know they closed they closed the window. You know, the window got some wood doors that you can fold them back or you can fold them closed. They folded the wood doors closed, and they was in there doing them sound effects, man, for the you call it the F Me interlude on the album. And when I sit back and I listen to the interlude today, I'm like, I still to this day, I don't know if that was real what they was doing in there, but they did a good job of making it sound like it. I know that.
It sounded very authentic when she was like pickle juice drinking, gun toting.
Yeah, he was creative like that with the interludes on the very first time I worked with him on Party and Bullshit. He stopped the session. He said, all right, it was me, Junior Mafia, all his homeboys in there from Brooklyn. And then he said, all right, stop. What we going to do, we going to go in the booth. He said, this is what I want y'all to do. Just grab a chair, a table, anything. He's like, just throw shit around, and we gonna make mad noise. This is a fight scene. So we in there throwing chairs, you know what I mean, everything around, mic stands, whatever. And that's the scene, that's the small section in Party and Bullshit when he said, man, the fight broke out. And then and then you hear the commotion and everything. Then he came back in with the, can't we just all get along? I was like, this dude. He came up with that whole idea.
That's some artistic talent, just using the stuff around you to make music. That's true hip hop right there. You talking about something out of nothing?
Come on, man. How can you stop the beat? All right, this is a record that's supposed to be played in clubs for people to dance to. How can you stop the beat? Wow. And then for I don't know, something like 15, almost 20 seconds, and then drop the beat back in, and people accept that and they like it. I guess you could say the dude was that good.
Yeah, we talked about that on the last show. We talked about how every time Biggie would go in the booth, you would think that he was visualizing a movie being thrown out for his album. Like he already had a theme already planned.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, man, it's a gift. Some of us is born with special gifts, man. With him, it was for wordplay. You know, I witnessed the same thing. One of the first, and that's my first real commercial entry into the business. Before that, I was working with Rapping is Fundamental. We didn't put anything out until a year later after working with Kane. In 1990, we had an album called The Doo-Hop Legacy on A&M Records. But a hot minute right before that, working with Big Daddy Kane, you know, I witnessed that. I was there. I watched this cat, like, write his stuff, go in the booth. You know, he's getting it right, you know what I mean, in the booth, and I was like, oh, man. I'm watching it be made, and then I go home, I listen to the demo on the tape, then the album come out, I'm listening, I'm like, yo, I was there, I watched all of that happen. So I learned from so many other people just watching them by the time it came for me to actually be a vocalist, because I used to rap too, in the group Rapping is Fundamental. You know, he asked to rap, and these are the people that I learned from, the people that I was around, that I had the pleasure to hang around. Nice and Smooth, Big Daddy Kane, Positive K. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
I'm just proud with the type of people from back in the day, the legends to the new legends that, you know, have gone and coming. It's amazing to notice everybody, the whole versatility range of people that you've worked with. You know, and I was going to ask you earlier, but you kind of touched on it already, how easy or not it was for you to transition, but that goes back to your love for it all together and where it stemmed from. So, you know, that was one of my questions I was going to ask, but you kind of hit on it, was just, you know, how did you transition from, you know, the Big Daddy Kane era, LL Cool J's, you know, the Miles Davis, and, you know, to keep going and still have your longevity in it and keep your passion, especially with what they have going on. That was what I was going to ask you, too, with the explanation that you gave of your definition of hip-hop. How do you see hip hop today as it's evolving and where it might evolve to, as opposed to where it started off when you started off way back at 12, and of course getting into Big Daddy Kane and everybody else after that. How do you see the differences, and what's your take on it, your opinion?
Okay, one thing I definitely will have to say is that, and I think a lot of people would agree too, I think right now hip-hop is, and you know it ain't limited to just hip-hop, it's almost like music in general. It's more, it seems like it's more one-dimensional, you understand? Like, there's not the amount of liberty and the freedom that you know we had to try new things and to do something different. For the most part, it's just kind of cookie cutter. You see a lot of people really repeating a lot of the same things. And my thing is just here because in all genres of music and in entertainment, period, you always get to a side where a point in time where like something is real favorite, and people start riding that trend. But my thing is, what's next, man? Because it just kind of don't really seem like it's changing or whether it's going anywhere else. And I don't really see too many people really pushing the envelope, you know, taking challenges, trying new things, taking it to that next level. That's something that we had a lot more liberty to do back in the days. I'll give you a perfect example. When you talk about a smorgasbord, a gourmet, like a boutique of music and artists was going on. You take like, you ain't even got to go back to the 80s. You take, say, like, let's go like 92, 93. Okay, what was going on right there? It was like a boutique store, man. For real, it was like a boutique shop. You could walk in the store and be like, yeah, give me a little bit of that Tribe Called Quest. You know what? I'm feeling like this. I'm feeling like this today. Give me a little bit of that Luke. You know what I'm saying? Give me a little bit of that LL. Give me a little bit of that. You know what I mean? That's just how it was. It was so diverse, and we was able to. It was more freedom to experiment and to try new things. So I'm just saying, at the sound of my voice, man, whoever's listening to this interview, in terms of being creative out there, and let's go for all artists, producers, whatever. If you got something that you really, really want to do, don't be afraid. You know what I mean? You could be the very next one to take this thing to the next level. And that's what it's going to take, musically. Not just with hip-hop, but with music, period. You know, that goes to say for all art, all forms of art. You know what I mean? That's what it takes to take this thing to the next level. You know, scared, you know that expression is true. Scared money don't make no money. Well, you can leave money out of the scared. Just plain scared don't make no money. Okay, I mean right now we got all different versions of music that's coming out of the South. Sometimes you got to be careful because cats will correct you. You say this is trap. Nah, that ain't trap. Nah, that's this or that. But just to think, they could only have what they have now because they were courageous enough to take a chance and try something new. So my thing is, we got to continue to do that. Don't be afraid. You understand? It's all about continuing to take this thing to the next level. It's about being free, to be creative and express yourself. If you got something down inside of you, don't hold that. You got to get that out. You know?
Don't be scared.
I think we have Fleetwood back on. You there?
Fleetwood. Shout out to the cotton pickers.
Going on, man? You know I hit the tour back in, man.
Yeah, I want to say this right here too. Like, for a lot of and I think this is the problem too. There's a huge gap between the younger generation, which a lot of people would like to refer to as old school. You know, a lot of people will put me in that category. They feel like I'm old school. But the difference is that I'm still active. I'm still moving. I'm still shaking. I'm still doing things today in 2017. But I could get lumped into that category. But it seems like there's a huge gap between what you would call the old school or the older generation and the newer generation. A lot of that that wall can be torn down is we got to start working together. You know what I mean? We got to start listening to each other. And what the older could do is stop sitting high up on your shoulders and like my father used to say, you got your ass up on your shoulders. A lot of the older need to stop acting like, I know it all and come down off of that. Sit down with little man, with what he got and what you got. You never know what you can come up with. Okay, for the younger, what they should do, and this right here just kills it all for me as far as I'm concerned, as far as what a lot of the younger could do. Don't be afraid to go back and do the research and actually listen and study what was going on. And when I say study and research, a lot of it is just simply just listening. Do you understand? It's just like the way hip hop sounds right now, right? It's not too much different from what was going on when Run DMC did Together Forever. You understand what I'm saying? It's like the 808. You got Hold It Now, Hit It. The Beastie Boys. You got Together Forever. Run DMC. You go back and listen to Houdini's I'm a Hope. You listen to the drum programming and the fact that the 808 was being used back then. All we doing is just kind of recycling what was done before, but we just bringing it to the new. That's all. So I just want to point that out. That there's major similarities between what was done in the past and what's going on now. We just got to find that happy medium, and it's important to me somehow. What you would call the older generation of hip hop. We got to tear that wall down, and the younger got to be able to work together with the older. We got to trade ideas. You know what I mean? We got to share gifts and come up with something.
And
that's
you know
one
what?
thing that I think that needs to happen. That needs to happen.
And to add on to that, I think one way that could happen is like you were saying before. It's got to be a new level of respect on both sides found and taken to a different level, because you got a lot of these new cats that don't respect the old school and don't listen, like you said, and you got a lot of the old school cats that don't want to hear this hooping and hollering. But I'm one of those, though. I can't hear the hooping and hollering. If you don't have a message, if you don't have lyrics, if you just got a beat and a whole bunch of blah, 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 I can't do it. But I'm so glad you just said that, because instead of just hollering at them, pull a young man to the side and sit him down. Instead of pointing down at him, pull him to the side, and if it is something you feel like he's doing wrong or you can help him make better, explain it to him. Talk with him. You know how that. Exactly. You know how it go. They say you can't talk to somebody if you arguing at them. That's the problem. Yeah. We can't. You can't. We gotta talk. You know what I mean? Not argue with each other. If all you're doing is criticize, you can't get nobody to listen to you. But if you say, "Yo, come here, sit down, man. Let me holler at you for a second." You know what I mean? Yeah,
break
man.
it down. Then maybe you get an ear. So I'm saying it got to be some of that right there got to be implemented too, man.
And you know what? That goes with what you said earlier about they can't be sitting with their ass on their shoulders. They can't. The old school cats that are veterans in the game, legends. That if they have somebody that's hot in the game that they may not like, that's doing a whole bunch of hooping and hollering, blah, 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 word, that type shit. If they get in the same booth with them, or if they see them coming out of a session, in my opinion, and what it sounds like could be yours too, what I feel like they could do is, hey, look, you got your fan base that's new and that's loving you. I got my fan base that's still around, sticking with me. Why don't we collaborate, and why don't you maybe possibly come up with a theme and something to talk about, instead of just hollering, and see what we can form with some words, and so, make some sense out of this, and see if we can get our fan bases together, because they can still do a little hooping and hollering on the hook, but the whole damn song don't have to be like that. But I think if these young cats get an old school type person that has, you know, some skin in the game, that they know people respect, if they come at them respectably, then maybe I think we could start hearing some good lyrics, some good messages from these new kids, and have a change going other than downward spiral on the slippery slope like it's seeming to go with a lot of these artists these days. So I would love for some people not to be so Hollywood these days, and to, you know, look at the up and coming artists and try and reach their hand out.
Yeah. Furthermore than that, and to further on what you just said, or maybe even like to expound on it, because we just saying it in plain words, but technically on the business side, this would be like record company talk, record company jargon. You know what I'm saying? This the language they speak in. Basically, what happened is nowadays you don't have too much more artist development. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what happened. I'm gonna tell you what happened. You take like 89, 92, even 94, even up to 96, 97, 98, when one of the only ways that we looked at it as an outlet for us to be able to put music out was, what was you going to do? You're going to go to a record label. Okay, at the record label is set up with departments for promotion, marketing, and especially for what we're talking about here now, A&R, the artist direction. That's where they take an artist from the street, bring them in, tell them how to sit up, how to dress, how to conduct yourself in an interview. If there was something musically or lyrically going on in this song that wasn't right, it's like, nah, you know, you got to do it like this. And you know, in your tone, where like you screaming loud, like bring it down a tone. With all of that qualifies is under the category of like artist development. What happened? Okay, what happened when they created all of this equipment for us to have home studios? You know, because back in the day, if you wanted to go to the studio, the only way you had to pay for the session by hour and go into a real studio. Once they created all this digital equipment for us, enabling us to have home studios, okay, right, you got a full state-of-the-art digital setup in your crib, but you making these records and everything you're doing ain't right, and there's nobody there telling you.
Yep. For real.
So you know what happens is we making a lot of music right now, and everything ain't right, everything ain't correct, but ain't nobody around to tell us that, to guide us and give us direction. So you have a lot of cats that they really, really think they know what they're doing.
Yep.
And a lot of them do, but a lot of them also don't. You know, so that's why I'm saying, that's why that part of the dialogue got to come into it. The thing about artist direction, we definitely got to inject that back in there. And also, too, man, something I want to speak on. This don't have nothing to do with, like business and technique and record companies and all of that. This is just plain simple, what would you call it? This is a philosophy right here. Listen. Stop worrying about if somebody's going to say, you hating on me. Stop that, okay? If you got an opinion, if something is whack, if something ain't right, don't have the fear. You understand that? Oh, no, I can't say that. I can't. Yo, if I say that, if I say, yo, they're going to be like I'm hating. But wait a minute. Ain't that what about direction and guidance is all about?
Gotta have thick skin.
So that's a big problem nowadays too. That's a big problem nowadays too. I call it the hater syndrome. You know, a lot of people is letting a lot of stuff slide for fear that they will be called a hater.
Yep.
Now you got all these artists. I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say that's a real problem. I understand a lot of people don't, because beef sparks so quickly these days over bullshit, and I understand not everybody want to be a part of the beef, but at the same time, you got to be able to speak your opinion. And if you call yourself a gangster rapper, especially, you don't have to speak it in such a degrading type of way, but you can speak your opinion and not be scared of the backlash, because at the end of the day, you have the right to your own opinion. But that's where all of this shit does need to stop.
But if you speak your mind today, you're a hater.
Exactly.
That at you quick.
Yeah, but see, I'm one that'll say all the time. I say it real quick. If you got somebody calling you hating, then they paying attention. You know what I'm saying? And if you know that you ain't hating, fuck their opinion and fuck their attention. Either keep it going, keep it moving, and be you, or you're not gonna last in this game anyway. And I do the artist development with any artist that comes at me about anything. The first thing I do is I ask them questions, and if they don't want to answer my questions, then they don't want to last in this game, because at the end of the day, you're going to get criticism, and my criticism is never going to be of anything that's meant to bring you down. I'll never tell somebody that they suck and that they need to do something else, because my thing is you can always get better if you learn from the right people. But what I will do is tell somebody, look, at the end of the day, you got to be you, and you just got to listen to people like you, listen to the legends, listen to the people that came before you that you can relate to. And that doesn't mean you're trying to copy off of them. You don't have to take their sound and their style. Do your own style, but understand that you can form your words and your opinions in such a way that it's not so degrading and not really hating. But if you got somebody hating on you or calling you a hater, then you're doing something right.
That's real talk. That's 100 right there. Because, just imagine. Just imagine when Milli Vanilli, when they did that, what was it? Girl, you know it's true.
Baby,
Yo, hold on. Listen, they ain't write it. They ain't do the lyrics. Matter of fact, somebody else mouthed the song, and they was lip syncing in the video. Imagine in 2017 if they told people, yo, you hate it. But pretty soon, if we keep allowing this, that's where it's headed. Like, you hate it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Somebody got to say it.
The ones that's getting paid, they can hate all the way to the bank, cash their check, and keep it moving. Because if they getting paid for it, somebody likes it. And that's why I don't never put nobody down on their shit. Because at the end of the day, if you got enough people telling you it's cool, then keep doing it. Just tone how you do it, or do something different if you don't like it. If you like it, then you just perfect it and keep it moving. Fuck the rest of the people that don't like it.
There it is. And once again, shout out to my partner, Son Jay, on the line. Son Jay Entertainment, EMB Entertainment, My Tunes Digital. Also, shout out to our third partner, Surge Knight. Okay, what we got planned, what we doing with this new movement, tell them, right, Jay? We ain't scared. We will sit.
Yeah, we're not scared.
We'll sit you down and tell you, like, look, you know what I mean? Yo, that ain't right.
Yeah.
You got to clean that up.
Exactly.
It's not that
fear.
I'm.
Now, go ahead. No, I was going to say the only fear they're going to have once we do what we do is you're going to fear going viral, because that's what's killing the game. That's what killed all the A&Rs, the great A&Rs like Kevin Woodley, Timmy Regisford. These were the guys signing artists, incredible artists, when I got signed to Atlantic Records. These guys are gone because these artists are doing exactly what you guys are saying. They're screaming and yelling and going viral, and the record labels is like, hey, these guys are going viral. Why don't we just sit back and wait to see who goes viral, fire all the A&Rs and all the artist developers and everything, and just whoever goes viral, put it out there. And then it became an epidemic, a pandemic.
And that was the worst decision made ever. That was terrible.
Yeah.
And see, people, these young guys, they should feel blessed to have a guy like Easy Moe Bee still in the game. Because let me tell you something. When me and Mo linked up, I thought I knew a lot about music. And if you listen to him today, just the artists he worked with, that he broke down and he worked with, ask any one of these young artists that if they can name any of their peers the way Moe named all his peers, and this was from years ago. These artists, they just take what they see and they run with it. There's no substance behind it. There's no direction behind it. There's no parenting behind it. It's like hip hop, you know, and that goes back to what Moe says, that gap between the old school hip hop and the new school hip hop. And the thing I don't like about when they call old school, I don't hear anybody calling Mick Jagger old school. And Mick Jagger went to Bethlehem High School with Jesus. He's been around forever, since I was a little kid. You know what I'm saying? You know, and they don't call him old school. The minute if the Rolling Stones put out an album right now, they're considered godlike. But if a Big Daddy Kane and a Rakim, who I see out here, they struggling to get where they want to be, and the LL Cool J, and then I listen to the music they put out, the hip hop that they put out. I can call that hip hop. I can't really call what's happening now hip hop, but at the same time, I can't knock them because it's what they do. It's this generation, and it's our fault. Yeah, we dropped the ball because, just like Moe said, everybody had their ass on their shoulders. Instead of, I don't mean to call out names, but instead of Melly Mel saying he better than this one and better than that one, and he burn him, he'll burn Eminem. No, you can't say that. You have to embrace them, you know, to keep the culture real, you know. And the culture is going to be real.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, you know, I watched Big Daddy Kane, and this is back in like 89, 90. 91. I watched him. He used to sit around and watch old videotapes, footage of shows of like Barry White, James Brown, Prince, Marvin Gaye, stuff like that. I'm like, yo, what is this cat looking at? And he used to tell me, you know, he's watching how they interact with the crowd. He's checking how they master their crowd participation. He's watching how they move so vigorously on stage, yet at the same time they still got their breath control intact and all of that. Yo, as a performer, all of that's important. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah, man.
And I watched him do that and study that, and then I seen him. You know, me and Riff, we used to run along with him, tag behind him, go on the shows and stuff. And then I watched that stuff. He sat there and watched in the videos. I watched him use it and go on stage. Like, wow. So it can. What I'm saying is, it can only make you better. You know, we could only be going somewhere if we know where we came from. It's always good to go back and study the greats and the original. Plus, anyway, if you're in an industry, it's just your responsibility to know that industry inside out anyway. You can't be an artist or coming in the world painting and somebody asks you who is Picasso, who's Vincent van Gogh, and you don't know who these people are. These people be looking at you like, well, what you up in here for? You know what I'm saying? So if you're going to be in the industry, understand it in and out, the whole history. The only thing it can do is make you a better and a more fuller musician, performer, rapper, producer, whatever role it is you play. Exactly.
Because a producer can even learn. I know a producer can learn from just listening and watching other people in shows, because I tell artists all the time, if you, like when I go out and scout artists, when I used to, I would tell them, your performance is one thing, and your substance that you can spit is another thing, and your personality is something totally different. You got to have all three to fuck with me, because at the end of the day, I think a lot of these performers these days are so worried about their performance that they know that all they're going to do is hoop and holler because they don't have the breath to do shit else. They don't have the mentality or the personality to really know enough to spit anything in lyrics. Like you said earlier, it's an art form. A lot of things is an art form. Putting the music together is an art form. Putting your words together to make sense is an art form by itself. But you have to have all of that together. Even the person that's the artist has to understand the music part, because if you can't be on beat, if you can't make your words flow with the melody and with the sound of the music, it's going to be all fucked up. So at the end of the day, but like he said earlier, it's the old school artists that dropped the ball. I don't even think so much it's the old school artists that dropped the ball per se, because the fans these days fucked it up too. The fact that they okaying half of that shit and letting it go viral is a problem for me. Like,
Yo,
we
need some callers. We need some callers. Somebody call in, man.
Yeah, matter of fact,
and opinionate on this. We welcome.
Yeah, the call number is
the reason why I said the old school
0703. I'm just letting people know that the call-in number is right here. If you want to build with us, we got Easy Moe Bee in the building. And I had somebody submit me a question. And press 1.
Press 1.
And I had somebody actually submit me a question. This is from Moe Bee right here. He wanted to know, did he ever see Biggie write? Because there's always been the story of Biggie never write any of his rhymes. He just goes in there and just goes off the dome.
You know what? I have seen in the studio, you know, they cater to you when you come in. They got the pitcher of water there. They got the gopher. Do you need anything? Order you some food. Can I bring you some fruit? Anything. And one of the things for the rappers that they always would bring, or for the singers if they writing, they bring them a pad and a pencil or a pad or a pen so they can write. And I seen Biggie mess with that pad before. But I seen him mess with it a little bit, and then I also seen him put it down, and he ain't messing with it no more. And he just looking up, sitting on the couch, on the sofa, just kind of looking halfway up at the ceiling, and like nodding his head to the beat while the beat playing, and he's like mouthing to himself, and I could tell he mumbling and he writing in his head. Then I'm watching him where he might have started and tried to mess with the pad. The pad ain't full. It ain't got nothing on there. He finished writing everything in his head. Then I seen him jump up and go in the booth talking about, all right, Mo, I'm ready. I'm like, you ready for what? I don't see nothing on that pad. But sure enough, he went in the booth and he started spitting like that. The only other cat that I seen before Biggie to do that was my man A.B. Money in our group, Rapping is Fundamental. A.B. is like that too. A.B. has never ever written a rhyme down in his life. Still to this day, it dazzles me, man. I'm like, yo, how do you do that? He still got songs that we did from like 87, 88 in his head, and he just stand there and just quote them. So, I mean, it's not for everybody. There's only certain people that can do it. Third in my life, of course, we know then Jay-Z came and he does the same thing. But, you know, it's not for everybody. All our brains ain't built the same.
All right.
And I just wanted to clear something up when I said the old school dropped the ball. I don't mean anything negative about that, but if you look at it, let's just look at it in terms of East Coast and West Coast. The reason why the West Coast has so much longevity is because when one man got on and he made it, he put the next man on and the next man on and the next man on and created a tree, that West Coast tree. Here, nobody was putting anybody on. You know, they would just make it and then they move on.
Or rather, it got to a point where we stopped working together and putting each other on. Because look, when it comes to the classic groups from back in the day, you go from like a EPMD to a Pete Rock, CL Smooth to, and we could go on and on, even down to Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five if you want to go that far back. One of the biggest reasons why it seemed like there was a disappearance of that New York flavor or what we had going on is because you have a lot of groups that broke up. Okay, so if they break up, they can't tour and go out and make money. In addition to that, what we feel like a lot of our greats was they couldn't keep it going. And they couldn't keep putting out music because a lot of the biggest groups, the greatest groups, broke up. And they ain't getting along no more. So, look, music is like time. Time don't stand still. If you don't do it, somebody else will. And that's exactly what happened.
Did you mean to make that rhyme, Mo?
You said what?
I think we finally have
Did you mean to make that rhyme? That rhyme.
Oh, no, I didn't. I wasn't looking at it like that. I just said it. If it rhymed, then cool.
That's a freestyle right there.
I think we have a 260 caller. Let me see what this is right here. 260, you on?
Yo, what's happening? It's your boy Joey Banks, man.
Hey, what's happening,
good, man?
Hey, man, I'm chilling. Yo, I feel like I'm in the presence of some greatness, first and foremost. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. You got a topic?
You have anything you want to shoot to Moe Bee?
What you mean?
You have a question?
You got to pull your mouth away from the phone, too, so we can hear you clearly.
We got to hear you.
Nah, no particular question. I was sitting back listening. Y'all was kicking that knowledge, man. Like, and it's like, I need to hear that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you know what? Thanks for calling, man. Thanks for listening, man. At the sound of the show and what's going on here, man. We thank everybody for listening. But it's just like, I'm kind of glad that he's given us the platform, Off the Cuff Radio, giving us this platform right here, is because these are the type of things, you know what I'm saying, we need to create a forum about. We need to speak. The people need to talk about this, because otherwise we just walking around out here. We got a whole lot bottled up inside of us, and we don't want to talk about it because we scared the next one going to say he.
Yeah.
Well,
he's a hater.
On Off the Cuff Radio, we talk about it, okay?
We talk about it. Sometimes the arguments get heated at times, but that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it needs to be said. If people are not hearing it, they're not gonna know about it. You got these things have to be said.
You know, it's something else I was thinking about earlier too, and I think this right here is kind of important too. I don't know. There's a whole lot of people that might get mad at me, want to try to criticize me for saying this, but I have to say, man, in my opinion, I think that's true, and that's what happened. I think we got to get back to. You ready?
Yes,
sir.
I think we got to get back to black music.
Oh, preach.
What happened to the appreciation for soul, R&B, rhythm and blues, as it's abbreviated at? Listen, let me tell you something. That can't be denied. That's your culture. That's the foundation to everything. All the way from Fats Domino and Chuck Berry, all the way up to Grandmaster Flash, the Furious Five, Cold Crush Brothers, all the way up to Run DMC, Rakim, to a Mary J. Blige, to an artist like Ciara, all the way to a Usher, all the way to this day to a Drake. What I'm trying to say is this soul, this culture of ours, this one, knock it down to that black music, is the reason for everything we doing here. What I'm seeing is we getting farther and farther away from embracing and owning our culture.
Yeah.
Somehow, one way or another, that needs to be injected into the music. I'm about to say something else right here, right now, and I know somebody else probably might get mad, and in particular, maybe from the South they might get mad at me. But I'm gonna tell you, I think it's a shame that all of the history and the roots and the heritage of music that has came out of the South, I think it's a shame that we not continue in some kind of way to carry on in the tradition and to continue to inject that into the music. And I'm going to tell you what's happening. It's like anything else. Just say you're walking, and as you're walking, you know, some dollar bills start falling out of your pocket. You don't know that these dollars is falling out of your pocket, but the further you keep walking, there's somebody behind you who will come and pick them up.
Hell yeah.
You understand? And maybe you intentionally, there was something that you had in your hand and you just threw it down. But listen, how they say, one's man junk is another man's treasure.
Hell yeah.
You understand? Like R&B, we scared to do real R&B anymore. But then I look up and there's a lot of so-called white R&B artists. They singing with more soul and they're doing it with no fear. What's wrong with us?
Unity is wrong. Unity and the hater factor.
Come on, man. Somebody's going to get mad at me tonight. Somebody's going to get mad at me tonight.
Awesome. We'll put them in the Philippines.
No. I'm really. Listen, I was just laughing, and that was a short little joke in the part of my laughing. But I'm serious though. Serious. We really, really need to get back on this black stuff, brother. When I say this black stuff, I mean this black music, your culture, your heritage, your roots. If you don't stick to it, if you don't embrace it, if you don't own it, it's gonna get taken away from you. It's gonna get taken away. Gonna get taken away from you, and then after it gets taken, you can't get mad because you threw it away and you didn't nurture it. You understand what I'm saying? And you didn't procure it for your own. That's yours. It belongs to you.
People losing their identity all along the way, fucking with this money. I think that's half the problem. They so worried about the money.
That's a part. I think what it is too.
Man, I think
one of the problems too is the sample.
Let me tell you something. Shout to the producers that I love, that I still love, and I'm friends with. Shout to Buck Wild. Shout to Pete Rock. Shout to Large Professor. Shout to Ski Beats. Shout to my man. I was on his page the other night. I liked it. I made a comment. Oh my goodness, Knots. He was playing a beat, and he had the funk, the soul, the jazz samples up in there. And he moving his body, and you could see he got all the soul in him. And man, listen, that's so important, man. Let's not ever lose that. That's yours. That belongs to you. That's special. That's something that comes from you. That nobody else can do it like you. You understand?
Mo Bee, I want to ask you something right. I want to ask you something right quick. Touching on that subject. Now, my group called the Cotton Pickers, and I named it there to pay homage to our ancestors. And all our music is extremely revolutionary, ghetto boys, goody mob, P, pop, all in one. They say the music is too hard though. So my question to you is, how can I my marketing? The marketing always run into a barrier with the Cotton Pickers. When they hear the name, I don't know if Jay lets you hear it in the music, but it's full of them Lattimore, Bobby Womack, all them soulful samples that you're talking about. But the marketing, man, I get so many doors closed on me. They say I'm running the money off because of the name and the message and the revolutionary, themes behind my music. So what is your suggestion? That's one question about somebody trying to push that soul out. And then my second question right quick is, there's a lot of producers getting ganked right now. Cash Money got a lot of problems right now, not paying their producers. What advice would you give to a young producer right now coming up about, how to receive what he got coming? That's my second question.
All right. I was about to say, let me answer for you before I forget some of your questions. Well, first, I want to say this right here. Just responding to the name and the response you getting off the Cotton Pickers. Let me tell you something, brother. America does not want to be reminded of slavery and what black people was put through. So just that name, Cotton Pickers alone, you drudging up old dirt. You kicking. They trying to keep that under the rug. You understand? They don't want to hear that. That's the reason why you getting that. Number two, how could you properly market yourself and continue to use that? I would say, first of all, let me ask you, when you say they turn you away, who is turning you away? Is you talking about record labels or radio, or what is it?
Record labels, radio, definitely, man. They just say, man, we love what you're doing, Fleet. We love what you're doing, man. Here's a couple of dollars, man. for your movement, man, but man, we can't play that, man. You gonna run off all the white money, man. That's too hard. That's too hard.
And I asked you the question, but I figured that I might have already knew the answer, but I just wanted to hear from you. Well, I was just gonna say this right here. Maybe the problem in the way of thinking and how you've been going about it is thinking that, you know, they're the only source that you got and the outlet for you to put your music out. I mean, you know, we're at the point with this internet and the digital age, man, if you can record your own music in this age right here, you got the internet where you can form your own enterprise and you can put it out yourself. Listen, you got unknown artists. Jay, he knows a whole lot of them that he could sit here. My partner Jay, he could recite to you. You got unknown artists and groups that tour the world regularly. Nobody know who they are. They created a following. They making thousands of dollars a night traveling around. And what you do is you create your own fan base. Start booking. You start get you whether it's a good manager you got to get, or if you sit down and create the mastermind for your group or your peoples, for you to represent them. You create the base. You create a base following for your group. Book your shows. Go around, and next thing you know, you got product that's selling. You making money. You travel around the world on tours and doing shows, and there's people who will come along and be like, "Who the hell is he?" There's so many artists out there like that right now. In other words, what I'm saying is we done got to the point now where at this point it's do it yourself, brother. Right. If we keep looking at it like you only got one outlet and one thing to depend on, that's exactly as far as it'll go in your mind. You know, I'm at a point where I done helped so many other people, I ain't even gonna lie. Even on the artist side, I ain't gonna say no name. There's so many people that I help. It ain't even gotta be record company execs or actual record company. There's so many people, artists that I help. You think they reaching a hand out to help me right now?
Yeah, no.
So you know what I gotta do? I gotta help myself.
There you go.
How that expression go? What's the group? The Gospelers. God helps those who help themselves.
Right.
That's what we got to get more into, because other than that, if we just sit back and just depend on one source, we'll never get it, man. We'll never get it. Do it yourself. That's what you can. Do it yourself. And then once you get to the point where you're successful at doing it yourself, then that's when here they come. Hey, can we offer you a distribution deal? Because you know what the name of the game is here. Nobody ever want to feel left out. If you're doing something on your own and you being successful about it and it's making money, now they gonna come and get behind you. Hey, can I help you with that? Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, it's funny how people always want to help you when you don't need help anymore.
Yeah. And if you really
go back, they come back around.
And if you really do want to help, me, we need to sit down and go through a thorough negotiation, because this sensation right here, I built this up myself. You coming in on the after effect. What can you do for me? What would you like to do for me?
Yeah.
You understand? So
I think I have another question here. Let me see if I can bring it up right quick. Let me see. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Okay, here's another question. What was the approach for the Lost Boys, Let's Coast, Beamers, and the Biz joint?
What was the what?
Like, what was the approach for creating that song?
You know, to be honest with you, those were some of the easiest records. Those are some of the easiest records that I watched happen and get made. You know, I just kind of submitted the beats to them. Back then, shout to Butt Naked Tim Dog. He was the A&R up there, Uptown at the time. And he's the one who was going out and getting all of the music for them. It's like, Moe, I need some tracks for my new group. So I gave them the tracks. They felt them out. They loved them. They went in the studio, and just right there on the spot, they just kind of felt it out. And if anybody that knows from listening, the Lost Boys, they got a whole big fun thing going on with the way they made their records and everything. It was just all purely fun in the studio, right there on the spot. Just, it wasn't nothing too headstrong at all. It was just a lot of fun the way they put it together and put it down in the studio to the beats. And if you ain't having fun, then what you doing this for?
That sends a question that I have to ask you. Do you think that music changed? I know you said, once you got home studios and stuff, it changed music a little bit. But the fact that artists don't have to get in the studio together anymore to make a song, they not vibing off the music together, they not feeding off of each other's vibes. You think that has a lot to do with the personality of music nowadays as opposed to back when everybody had to go to the studio and do their music?
Well, like I was saying earlier, I think when we was at the studios, whether it be the engineer to a lot of times you had all kind of people hanging and coming to the studio. You had the manager. I don't know. It could be a rapper in there. It could be his older sister, his brother, one of his mans from around the way who, and he wasn't just what you would call like hangers on. That's his real man, his real friend, where if he was doing something that wasn't right, he would come out and tell him. I think what it comes down to, that the way things used to be plays a role in it, but I think also too it's with who you surround yourself with. You know what I mean? If you got a bottle of Hennessy and mad weed in the studio, and a bunch of homies from around the way coming into the studio with you, whatever you do, they probably gonna be like, yeah, that sounds dope, man. Right all the way to that Hennessy bottle, run all the way down until all the weed is smoked up. Then they gonna be like, all right, peace, yo, get ready to move back around the way. So I think it's like you just got to surround yourself with the right people. Don't have no yes men around you. Have people that ain't afraid to stand up to you and tell you, you know what, that ain't right. I think you need to go back and fix that, bro. I think you could do that better. I don't want no yes men around me. Matter of fact, back in the day when I used to be in the studio, all my sessions used to always end up packed. But I didn't be honest, I didn't even really want nobody there. Me, my working environment is I just like to be there with me and the engineer. I like to bang out where I could concentrate, take my time, sit and listen, get it right. But you just can't help it. If you're in the studio, there's people, yo, what up? Yo, you in the studio? Oh, yeah, I'm coming up there. I'm going to shoot up there. What are you going to do? You tell them no, don't come? Depending on who they are, I was like, yeah, come through. But then when they get there, I had to always let them know, look, you know what I'm saying, I'm working, I'm doing this here. Can y'all go in the lounge or whatever? I'm working on this. All right, Mo. All right, cool. Standards got to be set so that when you go in there and you come out with the best. And people got to respect that. But that time right there costs money. The studio ain't free. Now when you go into the real studio, it's not a game. It's not a party, man. People in there working, doing real things.
Yeah, I remember when I was back on Atlantic.
I ain't mean it.
Yeah. Studio time was $185 an hour. God. I used to use Delta Studios. Delta, and I used Delta Studios in the city. Yep, they were up to the standards with Atlantic Records like. So they said, y'all gonna use a studio, you're gonna have to use a studio we approve of. And Delta was one of the plus our engineer worked there. He was an excellent engineer, Andy Milano, and the quality of that sound that you get out of it is what gets you signed to Atlantic Records, because we didn't just get signed to Atlantic on a humming. We researched Atlantic Records. We listened to all of their artists, and then we started creating music according to what they would sign, their ear, what they like, because that was the label we targeted. We didn't feel like we should be running the Def Jam and this label and that label, so we picked the label, we targeted the label, we targeted their sound, and then we went with that type of sound, that type of, for back then, and that's how we got signed. So it's important to do the research, and the research has to be ongoing, like what Mo was saying earlier. You don't just research the old school artists. It has to be ongoing. You have to research everything out there, and listen to everything to stay current.
Yeah.
And you know what? And I want to focus back on. I don't know if the brother is still on the line, the last caller that we had, but I'm glad he mentioned that too, because don't get caught up on radio, man. What's happening there, and if they don't accept you, because these people nowadays got a way of making you feel like, you know what I mean? If you don't fit there, you don't fit at all. You know what I mean? Keep going, do your thing. Just because you don't get on there, you still got a, you know what I'm saying? You still got a significant amount of talent in you and a gift that you got to get out one way or another. You understand? So let's not get caught up on what's going on the radio, and if we're not doing what they're doing, I'm not gonna make it, and you know what I mean. It's just the whole acceptance, peer pressure thing. People think peer pressure is from teens and adolescents. Nah, man, you got grown 50-year-old people that's victims of peer pressure. Ain't being themselves because they see what everybody else doing, so they just follow. Do you always do you?
That's why I appreciate the era of hip-hop I came from, because you be 8 bars in. If you whack, you gonna know immediately,
Hey,
Feelings gonna be hurt for a year.
I got a question really for both of y'all. Back in the day, they used to give the signing bonus. They would, scout out a good talent, and they give them a signing bonus. Nowadays, of course, they don't do that. Some of the labels you got to pay to get on. Do you think that has deterred some of the good music or the passion for what they do behind the music, as far as putting all of their effort in, knowing that they got to live up to a certain standard to keep the money coming? Do you think that had anything to do with, the reaction of artists these days?
Well, that is a valid question, because I'm sorry, Mo, I didn't mean to cut you off, because it seems like I deal with a lot of artists every day since I got into this digital distribution thing, and it seems like the most talented artists are the ones struggling financially, and then the garbage you hear on coming out is from guys out there hustling in the streets, getting their bread up to pay for their studio or pay to get their tracks done and put it out there. But the real talent is seriously struggling financially, and that's a good point. There needs to be something. This is why Mo and I do what we're doing, to help artists like that. Now we just got to get that trust, because they're so skeptical now because they see all of the things that happen. But we give this to these artists for free. We don't charge artists to put them out, and we release them globally.
Yeah.
Correct.
I need to get with y'all about a few of them. I think there's a lot of passion away and a lot of drive and a lot of momentum, because artists, they're good as well, But at the end of the day, when they got to put all of their money, they got kids to feed and everything else, and it's just like such a struggle, like you said. And these days, that's the other question I was going to ask y'all. How do y'all look at, I know the Billboard these days, the Billboard charts looks at the likes on the social media and shit like that, and instead of a true talent, because people can pay for likes through Twitter, through everything now. They can pay for the likes. So to me, that's not a real good gauge of how good the person is, because you don't know if they paid for it or if these are genuine, authentic likes. So my thing is, I wonder how y'all see the difference in how people are pulling the talent these days, because, a lot of good talent aren't even on social media. So, or some are, they just don't dive into social media like these kids do. So at the end of the day, it seems like the artists that are in the spotlight, some of them, not all of them, but some of the artists that are in the spotlight have paid their way to get in the spotlight instead of showcasing true talent and earning their way to the spotlight.
Well, Well, I'll say this right here. If you paid your way in, if you cheated, like, because a lot of the labels, you're right about that. I'm glad you mentioned that. That's something we ain't talked about yet tonight. As opposed to measuring and gauging the artist on a true talent, they'll be looking at your Instagram number of Instagram followers, or your Twitter followers, or, you know, and stuff like that. But if you paid your way into this, if you bought fake likes on Instagram or Twitter,
it's a new thing.
It's got listen, man. It's only gonna last for so long. After a while, what you bought, it's gonna die out. You know what I mean? You can buy your way in, but you gotta be able to keep it going. How many artists just a year ago they had a record out that was so-called hot? Where they at right now?
Exactly.
Have you heard anything else?
And if you notice, and if you notice, all the really good artists that's not on social media, those are the ones who've honed their skill.
Yeah.
You know, and if you look at it, social media is a trap, because when you go to social media, you're on a platform they call social media, and everybody on there is antisocial. They don't respond to you. You know what I'm saying? They don't even click like. You do the analytics, and you post something up on your page, and you look, and you only get 2 likes, and then you look at the analytics, and you see 20,000 people viewed it. People are being trained. This society is being trained to be antisocial and no congregating. This is why everybody has a home studio now. This is why you could play a video game with somebody in France. For some reason, and I don't know if I'm the only one that noticed it, but I noticed that with all the propaganda and all the marketing products and services that goes towards us, along with that, everything that's marketed towards us is things that keep us from congregating. They don't make all of these cell phones for us to stand right next to each other and call and text each other. They don't want you around people. You know what I'm saying? And some of the technology, we really need to put it down, like social media and because when Mo and I, in our day, there was no social media. We had it was the iron horse, the train, the foot soldiers. We had to go and network, and this is how things was done. These kids got it easy with this social media.
Well, I think that all of the everything that's a part of this digital revolution out here, as far as the social media, everything that's available by way of digital. I mean, listen, you know how they say the internet is the devil. Look, there's pros and there's cons. I mean, but at the same time, there's a whole lot of people out here that are truly using it as a real tool and using it to their advantage. I do know one thing, though, as far as the social media and being on the internet is concerned. With it being a proper tool for you to promote, market, and brand yourself, you're going to have to be able to divide your time where you spend X amount of time on there promoting, marketing, and branding, and then the rest of all of that other time, it's got to be devoted. You got to spend more time, you understand, creating and being a part of your real craft than you are on that internet. Because a lot of it, people will get it twisted. You'll think a lot of people are really working really, really hard. A lot of people ain't working as hard as you think. They make it look real, real big there on the internet.
Make it seem like it.
Yeah.
But they got an app for everything. They got an app that'll build up your likes. So I don't know. I guess they're not bogus likes, but whatever it is, they got an app that'll you can buy likes and you can build fake ass likes. That, like, to me, it's like you said, you can be partial, you know, work on your craft, hit the social media, but at the end of the day, your true gauge of how you're doing in this world is by authentic, genuine likes, not using a fucking app. So keep going. I'm sorry. I'm on a soapbox with that. I hate that shit.
And then you got kids.
Keep going.
I'm sorry, let me cut you off. Then you got kids like my little nephew. He doesn't rap. He just started rapping. Him and his little man made a little trap song. He has 5 posts on Instagram with 38,000 followers. And I'm like struggling to get 1,000. And I've been on Instagram for a couple of years now. And this little kid just started his Instagram. He got 38,000 followers already. So there's a gap, there's a bridge that our generation hasn't caught on to yet with the social media, whereas these young kids do it so naturally. So you're right, there are ways where you can utilize it, but the ways to utilize it properly are in the hands of the young, and that they in turn get exploited by these record companies. And look at I mean, like Future, this guy just signed away all the royalties for his next 2 albums. How do you do that? That's because you think you know what you're doing instead of resourcing out. That's why they have lawyers. That's why they have managers and agents and things. You can't do it all by yourself.
Yeah, man. That's crazy as hell. And see, so what it sounds like to listening to you is we need a young person on our team to run the social media marketing, and we can just focus on our skills.
Have one of them young 13, 14-year-olds do that.
Yep, that's exactly how old my nephew is. He's 15. 15, 38,000 followers, and only 5 posts on Instagram.
Well, shit, he can make some money in marketing for some of these artists that could use the help. Because at the end of the day, that's not bad. He can use his talent, which it's some talent. He can use his talent and make some money and help these artists, because that's what it looks like it needs to be happening.
Yeah, because I can't figure out how they do it. I says when I post something up, if there's something that registers my click, that's an old click. That's a young click. You know what I'm saying? That's a young post. That's an old post. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't understand it. It's just something that they understand. It's just like when we were younger, and things that we understood. Everything we did was more physical, but everything we did, we didn't have social media. We used to go outside. That's why you'll never have another Michael Jordan. You'll never have another, like a great football player, like a Jim Brown. You'll never have another Bruce Lee.
Or Walter Payton.
You know what I'm saying? Or Walter Payton. You know what I'm saying? Because technology has interfered with doing the actual work. I don't do anything. I don't pay anybody. I'm guilty too. Me and my brother, my mom's water heater went, and we was like, wow, we got to pay somebody to put the water heater in. And my brother was like, oh, we tripping. Put YouTube on. We went, bought a water heater, put YouTube on, put the model number in. We had that thing installed in a half hour.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it can work for you and against you. Yeah.
I wanted to shoot Moe Bee one more question before we head out of here, because we got about a good 10 more minutes. Now, you've been a part of many of the legendary cats, and you also was producing around that time where the government was against rap, and they had censorship going on like crazy. There's one track that came to mind that you did with Razzcast called The End, and it was the first introduction of what we was talking about with the Illuminati. And we want to know what was working with him.
Oh, you know what? Big shout to Raz. He just texted me about not even a full 2 days ago, because he's out here. He's coming. He stayed in New York, and we want to work together. We want to do something. Something new for his project. But when we made that, I did that in California. Where we was at? Rizzo was in the studio. We all came together. Right. So what was the question about that song?
Yeah, that song there, it was like, to me, that was the first time I was introduced to a lot of Illuminati type talk, because that's what the type of vibe that him and Rizzo was on. And they had like the speech from, I think, David Icke or somebody on talking about that at the end. So I want to know what was the creative process of that, like finding that sample and fitting that theme of the song.
Well, I did the beat. I produced the beat, and RZA and Razzcast, they did their vocals. Now that sample, that was an idea from Razzcast. He asked me, he wanted to put that and lay that on there. It's just like when I did Party and Bullshit in the hook. You hear that? The here we go. Come on, Biggie. He was like, yo, and when they get to the hook, I want you to take that. Here we go. Come on. And put that in there. So that was just kind of like, I don't know, I guess if you want to call it that, like co-production. That was Razkaz. That was his idea to take that dialogue and add it on to there. But as far as the subject matter, hey, listen, there's always going to be, as far as I'm concerned, that's why hip-hop is in the state that it's in right now. And as far as the hater thing that we was talking about earlier, people don't want to say too much because they're afraid somebody's going to hate. There's also the side of that where there's a lot of people that don't want to express themselves fully because they feel like, you know what I mean, that they don't want to step on the toes of or incite the government or whatever. But that's always been there in hip-hop. That's always been there in hip-hop. One thing I do know is that the Constitution does provide freedom of speech. And anything that we want to say, I think we should be able to express ourselves and say it. I'm not condoning nobody killing nobody. You know what I'm saying? Right. Or harming anybody or anything like that, or spreading any kind of hate as far as race is concerned and stuff like that. But I don't know. I guess, you know what I mean? That's just where he was at during that time. You know, yeah, you also have Busta Rhymes at the end of Everything Remains Raw when he said, there's only 5 years left. 5 years left. People
I was
like,
wondering, what the hell was he talking about, the Tiger? It sounded very apocalyptic.
Yeah. That's just for a couple of years, though. You know, that was kind of the place where in hip-hop where we was at. I think cats was just really starting to be, like, enlightened on a lot of different topics and a lot of things. And then also, too, you got to understand, from people on the outside world, there's things that they will never ever get to know about or to see. It takes being in the industry and for an artist or anybody inside to begin to see the inner workings, you know what I mean, of the business and the ways and the minds, the hearts of people, and all of that stuff. It starts to manifest. You know, what they see, they start to talk about it. So I imagine during that time right there, that's what was happening with Raz on that song, or if you want to put it like that, Busta at the end of the Everything Remains Raw. I'm gonna tell you something. Like we're in a real delicate era right now. There's so much going on, man. I mean, as far as like within the last number of years, we continue to see different forms of the police brutality happening. I don't know why, but for some reason we're starting to see a lot of the inciting of racism coming up. It's just like it's real tense out here right now. Right. And the thing that you mentioned right there, the questions you have, we're gonna see a whole lot more of that, and that's why I feel like, I guess even that one of the things we didn't talk about too much yet is topic-wise. You know, not how we rap it. Yeah, we talked a lot about how we rap it, but what we rap it about. Man. There's a whole lot of stuff going on out here right now that we could be talking about. I mean, they say that hip-hop has always been the ear to the streets. It's been the CNN of the street. We're not really doing that too much no more. There's a lot of fear. People are just afraid. You know, you when you got to differentiate between, and you got to choose between that fame and not offending anybody, as opposed to the real art that you want to express. A lot of times, people end up appeasing, you know, the fame side, and just doing what they have to do.
Social media backlash too, because it's so much of an open book nowadays.
Yeah. And then, that brings me, just what you said just now, I wanted your opinion on the whole Snoop video that everybody, do you think that was a form of artistic expression, or do you think that he deserved all of the backlash that he got for that?
You talking about with that Trump doll?
With the Trump stuff, yeah.
I wouldn't have did that.
I feel you.
Me, myself, I'm not going to comment on him. You know what I mean? And his choices. I'll speak about me, myself, but I wouldn't have done that. I think maybe I might have I probably would have chose to make a public statement over
a video.
Over that.
Because he knows it's too. The energy is too tense right now.
Very tense. And so the second part to that question that has nothing to do with Snoop, going back to the running from the police, I know it was, I think, didn't y'all make it in 94, and it was supposed to be released on 2 other albums in 95 before it actually was released on the Million Man March, the collaboration. Was the time frame,
The only album I ever knew it to come out off of, or that it was supposed to come out off of, was that 1 Million Strong album. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about, but I read somewhere that it was supposed to be released on 2 of Pac's other CDs before that, but like in 94 with all of the whatever was going on back then, it didn't get released on that album, and then in 95 when him and Biggie started beefing or whatever, it didn't get released on that track, and it ended up, that's what I read, of course. You know more than me. I'm just going off of what I read. But the whole point about all of that was the times that came out, was that, because that's like kind of what y'all were talking about with expressing yourself and not being scared to express yourself and getting, to not be, so scared and timid of what the reactions are going to be. So I was wondering if that were the case, is that probably, is that why it had so long to come out? But if that wasn't the case, if it was scheduled to come out, then that's no question. Other than the fact that why did they shorten the name of it? Because it was running from the police. So did they shorten the name due to the graphic, language that the full name would have consisted of?
Yeah, because even when they put the song out, it was kind of like they were censoring parts of the song, even though it was still having cuss words. And I found that kind of odd too.
Well, on the cassette that I brought home, the title was "Running from the Police," and then I noticed that by the time the Eminem remix was put out, the title was knocked down to "Running." I don't know if that was some type of I don't know if that was some type of censorship or whatever, but I just noticed by the time that remix came out, the title got knocked down to just "Running." Yeah.
Did they ever get your permission about remixing that song?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like what happens is they have to clear a lot of the original writers on the song, and they let you know that it's about to happen. It's not really too much you can really do about it. It's not like I can refuse it. And then hearing who was doing it, I didn't see any problem with Eminem. He remixing it. There was some talk out there that I was mad at him and I didn't like it. Nah, it wasn't nothing like that.
Okay, good.
That's all we can do.
Songs get remixed. Yeah, songs get remixed all the time,
Yeah. And just to clarify what I said earlier, just to clarify what I said earlier, from what I read, it was supposed to be featured on Thug Life. And then the criticism of rap and all of that stopped that. And then it was supposed to get featured on Me Against the World. And then the 94 shooting that led to all of that between Biggie and Pac. That's what I read. And, of course, with that same article, I also read that you had some kind of animosity of Eminem dropping it. So I wanted to clear all of that up since that's on Wikipedia.
Yeah, how Chatty Patty moves are. That's what we do with our show.
One, there was never no animosity. People would take words, they take something, and they will just blow it up into something else. So there was never no animosity. And number two, what you said about the song, it was supposed to be on the Thug Life album. That's the first time I ever heard that. I didn't know that. I never read that, what you said you read. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it's on Wikipedia, so that could be completely wrong because that was the same source that said. That's why I didn't bring up the whole Eminem thing with you because I don't like the beef stuff. I don't like the chatty patty shit. But since you brought up the word Eminem and you clarified it before I asked, that's what I'm just letting you know. If you go to Wikipedia on your page, it will say that. So you can correct that as soon as you want to, just to clarify anybody else that reads it if you choose to. Anybody that knows me will tell you I don't like the starting of the beef. I don't like to encourage beef because I would rather encourage unity. I would rather encourage people getting together and actually making good music, making money together because to me, there's a lot of shit, that real shit that people could be beefing about and not all of this, created promotional type beef. I understand it's good to sell records and all of that, but that's how stupid shit starts in the real world and in the real streets. So me personally, I would have never even asked you about Eminem until you said it, and you cleared it up before I asked you. So now I'm just telling you where the source of it is.
Yeah, people that know me, they know my personality don't even perceive that. You know what I'm saying? Yep.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem like it. You seem like a real cool, relaxed, and a realistic type dude that, looks at life on its merits and doesn't just feed into bullshit type. That's what I'm getting from you in this interview. And so I'm real glad we had this time to talk and had this interview because, I only know what I read because I didn't know you personally. So anytime I interview somebody, I let them know this is what I read because I don't know you. So I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
And Sanjay, I've heard a lot about you from Fleetwood, a lot of good things. So it's nice to finally be able to talk to you. Fleetwood is the one who even spoke to me about this interview, and I think that's how we got it. So shout out to Fleetwood and the Cotton Pickers. He grinds hard. He does do his shit all day long, and I've seen him run into resistance because I've been helping promote him. And I'm just glad that all of y'all gave him some real good knowledge because at the end of the day, I'm soaking it up with him. I'm trying to help him, and I like to see when people like you unite and want to help people around you. I know it doesn't always come back from the same person or right away from anybody else, but at the end of the day, y'all seem like people that aren't scared to help. Y'all aren't scared to get back to the roots and provide assistance so we can make hip-hop a better thing like it used to be. Not to say it's not good now, but it sure could go in a better direction. So I love it.
Right.
I thank y'all.
One person at a time.
I appreciate being here.
One person at a time, one record at a time, one artist at a time. It's like whatever we can do. Then and then the more people that you get to join in, you know what I mean? To all act on the same accord, do the same thing. That's called, you call that unity. The more people get to join in doing all that same thing. So hopefully, you know what I mean, we could create a sensation. We could create a sense of follow. With people looking at what we doing and how we doing and saying, you know what, I like that, man. They ain't scared. They're trying something different, and being leaders and not followers. I think I want to try and do like that too.
Hell yeah, that's called admiration, inspiration, and all of that. And I think y'all are stimulating it to anybody that listens, and I love it.
Beautiful
dialogue, we appreciate it. I look I get my blessings from the Lord. I do what I do because I could do it. It makes no sense to be able to do this and don't try to help anybody. And Moe is a very easygoing, humble dude, very knowledgeable. And I was blessed to run into him.
Man. Hey, y'all sound like a good team. Keep it going. Keep it going because there's a lot of teams that start off good that let bullshit beef get in between them. And I see that y'all aren't those type of people, so that's inspiring in and of itself because it's a lot easier these days to let beef stir up and try and get you the money. But it's like his scenario earlier. While you dropping money behind you, chasing that money in front of you, you losing a whole bunch of shit that you know you had, trying to get some shit you might not never get.
That is so true, Yep.
That's true, man. But on that note, we all out of time, unfortunately. It was fun building with y'all, getting this knowledge.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed the
appreciate
conversation.
you having us, man. We
Hey,
appreciate
tell
you
everybody
having
real
us.
quick before we leave where they can find you on social media, find your music, everything. Let them know.
Okay, on Twitter is at EASY_MO_BEE. On Instagram is at The Real Easy Moe Bee, at The Real EASYMOBEE. I mean, my page get kind of interesting. Sometimes I'll be on there posting beats. I'll mess around and post like the original Warning beat or something like that. They kind of like that, you know? Yeah.
Yep, and anybody want to holler at me for digital distribution, I'm on Twitter at Son, SON_J_ENT, and on Instagram at SonJENT, SONJENT.
We got it. And I'm gonna find you on social media. I think I found Moe Bee one good time. I'm gonna find you too, Sanjay. I appreciate y'all for this interview. I know y'all could have been anywhere else in the world, but y'all chose to be here with us. We appreciate you.
That's
Can't forget Surge Knight. What's good? You know
yeah,
what I mean?
Surge. Yep. At Surge Knight.
My brother LG Experience. What's good? My brother Big Bill. What's good? All my family, man. Down there in North Carolina, down there in Chocowinity, down in the deep woods of Maple Grove. What's good?
Family affair over here, y'all. And we will be back here this Friday night at 9 p.m. We're going to have H-Town legend, Klondike Cat in the building. So definitely tune in to that one.
And as Sandman says, peace out, motherfucker.
All right, peace,
Salute
y'all.
to him.
Appreciate y'all.
What a matchup! And what a team, Mike. Metro PCS and the iPhone SE for $0 on a network that covers 99% of people in the U.S. Oh, impressive.
Play with the best. Switch to Metro PCS on an unlimited LTE plan and get a 32-gig iPhone SE for $0. Metro PCS. Coverage not available in some areas, plus sales tax. Claim based on talk and text. Not valid for active numbers currently on the T-Mobile network or active on Metro PCS in the past 90 days. See store for details and terms and conditions.
What a matchup! And what a team, Mike. Metro PCS and the iPhone SE for $0 on a network that covers 99% of people in the U.S. Oh, impressive.
Play with the best. Switch to Metro PCS on an unlimited LTE plan and get a 32-gig iPhone SE for $0. Metro PCS. Coverage not available in some areas, plus sales tax. Claim based on talk and text. Not valid for active numbers currently on the T-Mobile network or active on Metro PCS in the past 90 days. See store for details and terms and conditions.